Hey there, and welcome to today's Explainer. Today we're diving straight into a massive topic. We are going to break down a comprehensive 10-day roadmap for mastering infrastructure as code using Terraform. So if you've been looking for a structured way to go from absolute zero to building production-ready cloud environments, you are in exactly the right place. Let's get right to it.
Now, everything we're going to talk about today revolves around one absolutely foundational mindset shift. Stop clicking, start coding. We have to move away from manually configuring cloud environments through web consoles, which, let's be honest, usually ends with you totally forgetting which region you deployed your database in. We need to shift toward automating everything with code. It's just how modern engineering operates. To get us there, we'll follow this fast-track syllabus. We'll start with exactly why we need to stop clicking, and then move right into the core Terraform workflow. After that, we'll explore state, which is essentially Terraform's brain, look at how to scale up using modules and workspaces, and finally wrap the whole thing up with the security and CI/CD practices you need for real-world projects. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Stop Clicking, Start Coding. Look, we all know the agonizing reality of manual infrastructure, right? You log into a console, you click around to create a VPC, click again for a subnet, and just kind of cross your fingers, hoping you didn't miss a security group rule. It's time-consuming, it's inconsistent, and it's so hard to reproduce. But on the flip side, we have Terraform infrastructure as code. You define your setup exactly once in code, and suddenly your deployments are fast, incredibly consistent, and completely version-controlled. And the absolute magic of Terraform really boils down to one word: idempotent. This is a core property of Terraform, meaning you can apply the exact same configuration over and over again, and it will result in the exact same consistent state every single time. It completely eliminates that dreaded environment drift. So instead of a weekend of clicking, a single configuration file, like your main.tf, becomes the literal blueprint for your entire architecture. With just a few lines of HashiCorp configuration language, or HCL, you can provision networks, compute instances, and storage buckets in literally minutes. And because Terraform is cloud agnostic, this exact same approach works across AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, you name it. Moving right along to Section 2, the core Terraform workflow. Every single Terraform practitioner out there, from absolute beginners to advanced cloud architects, lives by this repetitive four-step lifecycle. First up is init, to initialize your backend and providers. Second is plan, to get a preview of your execution plan. Third, apply, to actually create the infrastructure. And finally, destroy, for when you need to safely tear it all down. It's a beautifully simple flow. You write your code, you initialize it, you run a plan to make sure there aren't any shockingly expensive surprises, and then you apply it. It translates your text into real-world cloud resources predictably. This highly repeatable cycle is what finally removes all that manual guesswork from your deployments. And as you apply that code, Terraform does something incredibly smart behind the scenes. It creates what we call implicit dependencies. Because you might reference one resource inside another, like, say, putting an EC2 instance inside a specific subnet, Terraform automatically knows the precise order to build things in. It just knows it has to build the virtual private cloud before it can put a subnet inside it, without you having to manually script out that sequence. Okay, this brings us to Section 3, State, Terraform's brain. So think about this for a second. If you run your code today, and then you change just one line and run it again tomorrow, how exactly does Terraform know to only update that one specific piece, instead of just recreating everything from scratch? Well, the answer is state. Terraform state is essentially a JSON file that acts as Terraform's memory. It perfectly maps the real-world resources sitting out there in AWS or Azure back to your local configuration code. It is literally how Terraform tracks what exists, what's changed, and what needs to be destroyed. Think of your code as the desired state, and the real cloud environment as the actual state. When you run a command, Terraform uses its state file to compare the two. It calculates the exact delta, the precise changes needed to make reality match your code, which absolutely prevents chaos when you're updating live environments. But listen to me, because of this, there is one golden rule you must follow. Never, ever, ever edit your terraform.tf state file manually, because it's the ultimate source of truth. Manually tweaking that JSON can corrupt the state, leave you with orphaned resources, and just completely break your entire automated workflow. Always let Terraform manage that file. All right, let's step it up. Section 4, Scaling, Modules and Workspaces. When you're moving beyond just a single laptop, The key to scaling is modularity. We break our code into root modules and child modules. The root module is your main project entry point. But instead of clamming thousands of lines of code in there, it calls upon child modules. These are reusable, distinct building blocks, like Lego pieces, that accept inputs and return outputs, keeping your code incredibly clean, DRY, and so much easier for your team to understand. The resulting architecture is just seamless. The root module essentially acts as a conductor, seamlessly calling those discrete child modules together into a complete environment. A network module for your VPCs, a compute module, a security module. You build the standard block once, and you can reuse it everywhere. And when you add entire teams into the mix, you scale by using workspaces and remote backends. By moving that critical state file off your laptop and into a shared, secure remote backend, like an AWS S3 bucket, entire engineering teams can safely collaborate. Combined with workspaces, you can manage development, staging, and production, all from one isolated, conflict-free codebase. Which brings us to our final phase, Section 5, Security, CI/CD, and Projects. What really separates a beginner experimenting locally from a professional operating safely in the cloud, it's strict adherence to best practices. You absolutely must use naming standards. Always pin your Terraform versions to avoid breaking changes. Store all your code in Git, use those remote backends, never ever hardcode secrets, and implement automated CI/CD pipelines. The ultimate payoff of following this structured 10-day learning plan is massive. By the end, you aren't just writing basic scripts. You are building a secure, modular mini-project architecture. Public and private subnets, logically separated web and app servers, strict security groups, all seamlessly tracked by a remote backend. It's everything we've talked about combined into a true, real-world deployment. Reaching this point means you've successfully navigated the foundations of infrastructure as code. The 10-day roadmap is complete. You've gone from basic setup to modules, state management, and best practices. And honestly, this perfectly sets you up for the recommended next steps, like integrating Docker, Kubernetes, and full GitOps workflows. Because ultimately, learning Terraform itself isn't the final destination, right? The destination is building, scaling, and managing reliable, real-world infrastructure. You have the map, you understand the core concepts, and you know the workflow. So I'll leave you with this. Are you ready to stop clicking and start coding your cloud? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.